Hey everyone, Will here with a new video about why you should save copper. I haven't done a copper video in a while, and I've picked up a bunch of new subscribers since my last one, so if this is all new to you, check out my old videos. A lot of good information there about saving copper and why I think it's a good idea, and I really think that copper is going to be a great investment for years to come. The best way to get copper is copper pennies. Any penny made before 1982 in the United States is 97% copper, or it's 95%. So I've been saving copper for years, mostly pennies, but I save it any way I can get it. And the easiest way for me is the copper cents. But like I said, I've been doing it for years, and haven't really been there's chicken. I haven't really been saving as much as I should the past few months, but I was in the bank the other day, decided I should get myself a $25 box. So I picked up a box, and got the Rydell here, and let's fire it up. Now, Rydell isn't for everybody. It's kind of expensive. And Go, you don't like that sound, do you? No. She says, I don't like that sound at all. But Rydell's a great way to save a lot of copper. But you don't need this. Get a box, sort it out by hand, and pick out all the copper cents and stick them off to the side in a jar, and years from now you're going to be very happy that you did. I'm about to go over all the reasons that you should be saving copper, so no more running the machine for a little bit, Go. So stay tuned, and I'll see you out on the porch, and we'll talk about saving copper and the reasons why. Hey everyone, Will here. Just saw my first part of the video where I'm saving copper. Decided, I've been a little lazy and haven't really been saving as much as I should. So I'm going to try to make an effort to get back into saving some more copper. So just got that new box of copper cents that I'm going to sort through with my Rydell sorter, and a new article came out about copper and how it's poised to take off, in my opinion. I've been saying this for years, and I still believe that copper is due for a big increase in the coming years. It's not going to happen overnight, but eventually, years from now, copper is going to be a good thing to have. Save all you can. As a general rule, the most successful man in life is the man who has the best information. That generally means not following the crowd. And it's, people who save copper cents, other people hear that and they think, really, that's kind of weird. But eventually, in the long run, all those people who say that, they're going to be saying, I wish I would have done that. But copper is poised to move up. And probably the biggest reason is mining costs are escalating. Declining copper ore means that a much larger relative scale of required mining and milling operations. And a growing proportion of mining projects are in remote areas of developing economies where there's little to no infrastructure. It's becoming more expensive to start up new mines, especially copper mines. There are several serious concerns in regard to global resource extraction that should be considered. There's smaller areas for exploration. There's competition with Chinese mining investment. The Chinese are sucking up a lot of copper. They're growing their infrastructure. There's just not enough copper for them, especially when it comes to power. You know, nothing conducts electricity for the cost as good as copper does. When it comes to mining, the low-hanging fruit have already been found. So in order to mine more copper, they're going to have to go into more remote areas. There's supply bottlenecks for equipment, mining equipment. There's lack of financing options for smaller deposits. Declining open pit production, ongoing operational issues, and environmental groups and labor risk. There's at least 15 mining projects in Peru, which is the world's largest copper producer. Most of those 15 have been delayed with start date setbacks and for up to 2 years because of social unrest. Mining investment in the country is expected to fall 33% in 2013 because of unrest. Chile is the world's top producer of copper, but the country as a whole is woefully short of power. The country's power generation capacity currently stands at 17,000 megawatts. It is estimated that the country will need at least 30,000 megawatts of power by 2020 to keep up with demand. An increased demand coming primarily from mining projects. Unfortunately, the government only plans to add 8,000 megawatts between now and 2020. There's serious opposition to these plans from environmental groups, and they've been wildly successful by suspending several key projects and more than $22 billion worth of power investment. The Chilean government recently struck down a planned 2,100 megawatt thermoelectric power plant, citing environmental concerns. Condelco, the Chilean state-owned copper company and the world's largest copper miner with 20% of global copper reserves, said that their 2012 first half copper production fell 6.4% because of lower grades mined. Condelco direct cash costs increased 27% year to year, mostly because of paying higher prices for electricity from drought-stricken grid. So that says a lot right there. Here you have the world's largest copper miner saying that the first half copper production fallen and the cost increasing 27%. That's pretty big. Keep in mind supply and demand. When supply goes up, demand goes down. When supply goes down, demand goes up, and the price goes up. According to the World Bureau of Metal Statistics, the global copper market has a deficit of 129,000 tons for the first 6 months of 2012 on a consumption of 10.2 million tons. Once again, supply and demand. And China, here's China. It uses 43% of the world's copper. Chinese traders are tacking on an import tax at a record pace. I messed that up. So copper imports are on track for a record pace. There's not enough copper worldwide. Most older existing mines have increased costs with production rates stagnating or even declining because of lower grade ore. Half of the world's copper reserves are more than 50 years old, and 4 of the 7 largest producers are over 70 years old. There are new supplies coming onto the market, but the rate of depletion is much greater than the rate of discovery. Also faced with complicated and more expensive extraction of metals from increasingly harder to find lower grade ores in almost inaccessible and hostile parts of the world. A miner now has to dig an extra 50% of ore to get the same amount of copper. As grade drops, the amount of rock that must be moved and processed per ton produced. So there's a lack of inventory growth, it's just not enough copper to go around. So get out there, save your copper. The price isn't going to spike overnight, like I said, but down the road, get out there, save your copper, copper pipe, copper fittings, scrap copper. I love saving the copper cents. It's just so easy to go into a bank, ask them for a $25 box of copper cents, and sort them out. And like I said, you don't need a Rydell like I have to sort through them. You know, even if you only sort a box a month, you know, get a box, open it up, in your free time, sort a roll or two here and there. Throw the coppers in a jar. You know, do it at your own pace, but I think everybody should have a little stockpile of copper. So till next time, this is Will, your Sales Survivalist, and we'll talk again soon.